It's July 4th, 2026, 11:44 a.m. I've really enjoyed my break from social media, but I'm back primarily because this is one of the easiest ways to get the things I want to say out and put them out into the ether. So I've been listening to these audiobooks. Shout out to my big bro and my friend Chanel, who put me on to Miss Octavia Butler. She's considered one of the greatest sci-fi writers of all time, but she preferred to refer to her writings as grim fantasy. And all right, so I listened to Parable of the Sower first. Really enjoyed it. There was a lot of dialogue. And the whole time I was listening to it, it's like a dystopian book actually set in the 2020s. And it's crazy how much it's similar to now. Some people have even said that Octavia Butler was very prophetic because the fires that she talked about in her book were actually happened in California. She's from California. Anyway, she has a very interesting story. Started writing when she was 10. I highly encourage you to read her whole Wikipedia page. Unfortunately, she passed away in her late 50s, had a stroke, hit her head. Anyway, she had diabetes from the time she was a little kid. Lost her dad when she was a little girl. Very fascinating story. She had an aunt who told her she would never be a writer, or black people couldn't be, especially black women, couldn't be professional writers. And her mom bought her a typewriter when she was like 10. And anyway, the rest is history. She has highly inspired me to keep going with a lot of my writing. For now, my writing will be mostly audio. At some point, I'll put out some more actual physical books. But all right, so yes. All right, so if I first read Parable or listened to the audiobook Parable of the Sower on Hoopla, one of my favorite apps. And then, actually, I listened to it on YouTube because I didn't know they had it on Hoopla, because I looked it up on Hoopla first. I didn't see it, but I searched for it the wrong way. Anyway, so I listened to some AI voice on YouTube. I'm going to listen to it again on Hoopla. So now, and then I listened to Kindred, which apparently they made like a whole series on Hulu, which I plan on watching pretty soon at some point. It's adapted or inspired by Octavia Butler's book Kindred, where she is her and her white husband in 1976 go back in time to like 1819 or something like that. And she has to keep her slave master ancestor alive. Very good. Slave books, movies, period, they kind of trigger me as a dark-skinned man, but I highly recommend, Kindred. I will highly recommend y'all to listen to or read Kindred first, then do Parable of the Sower. And now I'm listening to Parable of the Talents, and it's blowing my mind because the president in that book they keep saying the phrase "Make America Great Again." And I'm like, wow, this is so creepy. Like, this woman was very prophetic, and she was writing in like the 90s when she was writing this stuff. Well, what else? What else is going on? So, yeah, I'm excited to finish listening to Parable of the Talents. I've been listening to it in between just activities, work, and life. That's why I like audiobooks, because I can just hit play while I'm washing the dishes, or before I go to bed, or when I'm driving to work, or in between breaks at work. So stay tuned. I'm probably going to continue to just do little videos like this that don't really show my face, because I like being invisible to some extent, I guess. At some point, I'll be 100% invisible. Till next time, holla. Oh, one more thing. So apparently Octavia Butler was going to make Parable of the Sower, Parable of the Talents was a trilogy or 3-part series book, part of called Earthseed, which is this religion that she created, and in the books, and it's this dystopian world set in 2020. Parable of the Sower was set in 2026, and Parable of the Talents is set in 2027. And so wild. So apparently before she passed away, she was going to do a third book called Parable of the Trickster, and it got my wheels turning, and I want to do my own version, adaptation, or spin-off, almost like a Spaceballs, Spaceballs spoofed, what is it? Star Wars, whatever. I plan on doing my own silly, just fun fantasy world, sci-fi, whatever type book series, poetic short stories. I'm not really a fan of novels, but some kind of poetic short story series. Do my own, inspired by the whole Parable of the Sower, Parable of the Talent, or Earthseed series. And so stay tuned on that. It's going to be fun when I put it out as time goes on. The main thing is I don't want it to feel like work. Sometimes writing has this pressure of like it has to be perfect, and it has to just look like everybody else's or be a bestseller or whatever. And I just, at the end of the day, I feel like writing something Octavia Butler did a lot was write herself into her stories. And I notice a common thing she often says in her characters, because her characters are writers. In one of her characters, a lot of them journal, and they talk about how writing is an escape for them, in a way of getting all of their thoughts and feelings and emotions out. And that's one of my biggest things that I want to do before I leave this earth, is just encourage more people to write and tell their stories. One, so they can pass them down to future generations, and if they have kids, pass them down to their kids, or people to inspire other people. And 3, it's like one of the greatest forms of therapy to me, because the medium that you write on, or you tell your stories on, or however you do it, I know I'm on here I'm just talking, but so people will comment, but maybe. But when you write, the pages don't talk back. And sometimes it's a beautiful thing. Like, even if you talk to a therapist, a lot of the good therapists, they barely talk. They might ask a few questions here or there, but a lot of times somebody just needs somebody to listen. They don't necessarily need feedback or input, or say, oh, why did you do that? Or what were you thinking? They just want you to listen. And what else? There's one more thing I was going to say. Man, I thought there was one other thing I was going to say. But, oh well. If it's important, it will come to me. Till next time, now I'm done. Holla. Oh, that was the last thing I was going to say. Imagine if you were able to get recordings like this from one of your favorite writers, or some of your favorite writers. And I feel like a lot of writers you don't really get. There's some interviews of Octavia Butler I plan on checking out. But imagine if you just got her candid thoughts. I imagine she has journals somewhere. I would love to read her journals. She could refer to herself apparently as a happy hermit. She just sounds like a very interesting, fascinating woman. Very inspiring. So I know I'm no one's favorite writer right now, but at some point, if there's one person that enjoys my writing, here you go. You're getting my candid thoughts right here and all over the place, all over the ether.